Hi, this is Rick. I'm here in my studio, and you're visiting my YouTube channel, Rick Surowicz Watercolor. Once again this year, I decided to put together a series of holiday card videos that you can share with your friends and family. I post all the content on the project page of my website. If you go there, you'll find the links for the videos, links for the templates that I use for the cards, and reference photos of the cards themselves. And they're all 5 by 7 inches, and you can put those on a blank greeting card stock or just on regular watercolor paper, whatever you choose. But I hope you enjoy watching this series and enjoy painting them and sharing with your friends and family. I'm here in the studio and I'm ready to begin this Christmas card, this holiday card. This is the template that I've provided on the project page of my website. You can find the link to that project page in the description of this video. And this is a 5 by 7 inch image that I'll be working with. I use some masking fluid in this particular painting. I do that a lot in my winter scenes. If you follow my holiday card, you'll see I do this. And I'm going to be using a fine line masking fluid bottle. Just a tip on this is a good way to dispense. And so I'm going to make this snowflake pattern and just make some little marks to suggest a kind of a stylized snowflake, if you will. You don't need to squeeze these bottles too much. They just light pressure to keep fluid in the going into the barrel, and then it kind of writes like a rolling writer pen, I feel. And let's see, we'll do this one here. Just making some, I make the marks on the template, but you can just make a bunch of random marks. I just do that to suggest where they're at in the pattern that's there. And now I'll pull a little bit, another couple lines here. Fill in where you think you need to. And then here I'm going to have just some greenery coming down, some garland, kind of appearance, or pine tree. So again, I'm going to make some marks here. I'm going to make the branch, and then I'm going to put some of the marks to give the appearance of pine needles coming off of them. Go over here, here. So I could paint these and then try and paint around them, but it's going to look like I tried to paint around them. This is going to be too fine a mark really to do. So this is a good way, I feel, to accomplish this and stay transparent. I like to stay transparent with my watercolors. So that's all I'm going to do with this fine line masking fluid bottle. And I want to cap that right away to keep it from drying out. Next, I'm going to splatter some masking fluid on here using an inexpensive toothbrush. Dip it in some masking fluid in my jar. Rub off some of the excess. And then I'm just going to splatter some masking fluid and tap it on my hand, which will make a bigger drop. I want this to look like a snowy night. I'll put a little bit more around here, and maybe just a little bit more up here. Kind of missed up here. All right, that's probably enough. And that's all I'm going to do with this as far as masking. So I'm going to let it air dry. I like to let it air dry rather than use a hair dryer because I think it affects the cure. But once it's cured and air dry, then I have no problem as I paint using a hair dryer. But we'll let this dry and then I'll start painting. I'm back in the studio and the masking fluid is dried. And I'm going to take a wash brush. I'm going to put a big wash over the background, a dark wash. I'm going to use royal blue, which is a pretty dark color. So quite a bit of water. Just because I want a dark value doesn't mean I can't have a fluid mixture of paint. and I just have to make sure I'm using a pretty dark paint. So I add a little alizarin crimson to that. You can see how fluid that paint is on my palette, and I'm working at an angle, about a 20-degree angle or so. And I'm going to start to apply a wash here. Loading up my brush, you can see there's a bead of moisture that developed along there. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit to this just to keep this leading edge wet so I don't get any hard edges developing. And let me put a little bit here. And I'm going to take a smaller brush now. This is a number 6 round brush, just so I can work around some of these shapes that have some tight angles in them. Not lose the edges off of the lamppost. So put that in there. Paint around the ribbon. Even though I have a small brush, I'm still able to maintain a bead of moisture on the leading edge so that it's one continuous wash. Come around here, and I'm going to get my bigger brush again. Get this wet over here, keep that going. And I'm going to bring this wash down. I've added a little bit of water to this. Now it starts to lighten up some. I'm going to paint along the pole or the post of the lamppost. I'm going to go back to my smaller round brush. Paint this without putting my hand in this. All right. Get these kind of tight spots with a smaller brush. I'm going to go around the bow. Keep that wet. And we'll come out here with the lamppost. And now I'm going to go back to my larger brush and just finish off this wash. Kind of have to move around, brush around a little bit to get around the masking fluid that's there. I want to pick up this pool of moisture at the bottom before it starts to backwash over there. Okay, so I have my background wash done. And I'm going to pick up any excess moisture that's gathered at the bottom. Again, I'm working at an angle. The other place I'll look is up in here where the masking fluid is. Sometimes it'll trap the flow of moisture and create a little puddle there. So I'm going to wipe off around the edges. And now I'm going to dry this. And then I'll come back and continue to work on it. That's dry. And now I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to take some of this gamboge, add some water to that to kind of thin that down a bit. And I'm going to paint inside my lamppost with this pretty bright color. So I painted that just a flat wash with my gamboge. Inside the windows of that. And now I'm going to dry that, and I'm going to put a gradated wash to show where the light bulb is. All right, that's dry. So I'm going to take a little bit of quinacridone gold. This is quinacridone gold. Add some water to that. And I'm going to paint around where that light bulb is within the lamp. And I'm going to take some water, just some clear water, soften the edge. So now I can see my light bulb up in there, or where the light's radiating. You could make that a little softer edge if you wanted. I chose to go that route. Now I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take some of this is quinacridone coral. Over here I have pyro red. You could use that, or any red you have. Maybe I'll use the pyro red, I guess. So I'm going to take a little bit of this red. Paint a little bit here. I'm going to clean my brush, get some water, and I'm going to just do a soft gradation of value and intensity as it moves away from this end. So I'll do the same here. I'm going to add some water. Maybe a little more water to that. Leave that end very light. Now I'm going to take a pretty dark mixture. I'm leaving just a little hairline gap between this one I'm painting and the one I just painted, so they don't run together, and I can maintain that light edge. And it'll just be kind of like a highlight. Now I'm going to paint this back here. So I painted these just pretty much a solid wash back there. And I'll paint a little bit on this knot. Maybe grab some water and just soften that edge a little and lighten it. I'll leave a little bit of gap between it and the other areas I've painted. And now I'm going to dry that. And then I'm going to come back in. I'm going to paint the darker areas inside the ribbon. So that's all dry. I'm going to go back to my number 6 round brush. I'll take some of this violet, maybe mix a little of this red to it. A little blue violet that I have there. And I'm going to paint the area inside this ribbon, or the bow, where it's in shadow. Get a little darker in there, so I'm going to grab some of that royal blue, a little alizarin. Make that darker. So that's fairly dark. And I know I'm going to put my hand on that if I don't dry it, so I'm going to dry that quickly. That's dry. And now I'm going to take this violet that I have. I'm going to add a little burnt sienna to that. Maybe get some more royal blue. And it'll give me a little variation of a neutral gray. Nothing too dark. At the moment, I'm going to go a little lighter here. I'm going to paint in some of this. Take some water, thin that out a little bit. Paint this and just leave it just an indication like there might be some snow laying on the top of that. Stick with that. And I want to go darker in some of these areas. So I'm working with complements here. The burnt sienna and the blue will help me make a neutral gray. And add some water to this and drag it out here. Make it a lighter gray, and some of it I don't want to just paint it black, but I do want it dark in some areas. Depends on how much contrast I want in any given area. Paint the corner in. Some of this I want to be dark enough you can see the little bit of contrast between the lamppost and the dark sky. And now I'm going to bring in a little darker gray here underneath the bottom. And I'll start with a kind of a middle value gray. I need that to be a little warmer. Add a little more burnt sienna to this so it differentiates somewhat from the sky. So this is more neutral. Still want this to be kind of a middle value, not just solid black, dark black. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of a darker color and let that just gradate into this. Take some of that. I do want that to be a little darker on the edge, so let's get a little more paint in that. Keep it neutral. Okay, so I'm going to dry that. I'm going to take off the masking fluid. So now that's dry, I can take off my masking fluid. Reveal these shapes of the snowflakes, the little patterns of the snowflakes flying of snow. And then it reveals this garland that I have here. And now what I want to do is clean a little spot here on my palette, get rid of this red. And I'm going to take some of the, I'm going to take some sap green and add a little yellow to that. Thin that down. And now I'm going to just hit some of this that I had masked with the green and leave some touches of white so it looks like there's still some, some snow clinging to it. Bring a little over here. Take a little of that up. Now let me dry that. Okay, that's dry. I'm going to take just a little bit of this kind of a violet color, and I want to give a little more separation between the snowflake and that lamppost. Maybe just a little bit. I don't know. I'll leave most of it because I want to change the shape. All right. So there we go. Just another holiday painting. And I hope you enjoy that and have fun painting it.